Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Molly, also known as Good Golly Gal, and today I am going to be creating a Halloween wreath since it's almost October, so it's about time to get this up on my door. So in honor of today's activity, I'm wearing my Haunted Mansion shirt so I can feel festive while making my Halloween wreath. So I'm going to show you everything that you need to know to create this wreath. So for this wreath, you are going to need a 19-inch ring. So this, they sell these just about any craft store. You can also find it online. I'll put a link to everything in the description below, so if you guys want to just find all the supplies easily, that's where it is. Then I grabbed some black and white striped wide ribbon. Now this ribbon is wired, and you're gonna want wired ribbon, so it's got wire running down either sides of it. You're gonna need that in order for it to kind of keep its shape as it goes around the wreath. And I found this beautiful spider garland, which has glitter, so don't tell my husband he hates glitter. Also going to want to use some gauze, so I just picked up some black gauze, and I grabbed some orange yarn. I've got some really thin wire to kind of fasten everything onto my wreath and hold it nice and secure. I have a pom-pom holder. And I actually got this in a pack. This was a Pom Pom Maker set by Clover, and I'll link this below. Also, this one is, I can't remember the size. It's this size? I don't remember what size that is. It looks about to be it looks like it's maybe the size of a $50, like the little round part. It doesn't really matter what size you get, you just need a little Pom Pom maker. You're gonna need hot glue sticks, and today I'm using this bad boy. I'm so excited. So, as a crafty person and art teacher, I use hot glue guns all the time, and I've always loved using the battery operated ones because, first of all, hot glue guns, the cord is like this long. It's a joke. They're ridiculous. And so I always have gotten the battery operated ones so that I can take it off the stand and use it. The downside of that is if you're using a project for any length of time, you have experienced this where you constantly have to put it back on the charger to build up that charge again before you can take it off. But then my friends, and I know that, so any of you who've seen my videos before, you've heard me talk about Ryobi tools because I'm obsessed. So my fan obsession, they have the fabulous fan, I have that power inverter. My husband has quite a few, like he's got blower, and we've got a whole bunch of Ryobi tools in our garage. But I'm starting my own collection for my crafting and DIY needs. But what I love about them, the batteries. So you buy a pack of batteries and then you just use them on all the tools. And so anytime they have the special, so a lot of times, so you can find them at Home Depot, and a lot of times they'll have a special where you can get 2 batteries and and then you get a free tool with it, and they have all these different choices for tools. That's when I buy my batteries, because then I get a free tool. So this is my newest friend. And now my hot glue gun never has to be recharged, because as long as I put on a charged battery, this will last way longer than any project I could come up with. I'm so excited. So we're gonna use this today. I have added this mesh, this black mesh, and so this is 12-inch by 35 feet. Got a helper. And so this mesh you see on a lot of wreaths. Ooh, those spiders really like it. And it's great because it's got the wire in it, but you can kind of put it together and make it really thick. So I'm gonna actually put this around the outer parts of my wreath and a little bit on the inside so that it'll be nice and fluffy. And scissors and, oh, I do have some wire cutters for my wire. All right, let's get to making. So the very first thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that I have all of my supplies ready to go. And that way I can just start building. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to build my pom-poms. And these are so easy to make and really, really fun to make. And this is a great craft that you can, if you don't feel like doing this, you give it to your children and you say, hey sweetie, would you mind making pom-poms for mommy? And they will love it because it's so, so simple to do. Okay, so here is our little Pom Pom Maker. And what you're going to do first is you're just going to open up the sides. So there's 2 little white arches on this side and 2 on this side. And then this is connected with this little pin right in the middle. And what we're going to do is we are just going to start wrapping this with yarn. So you'll see how there's like this little edge here? You do not want your yarn to go over these parts, okay? It needs to stay right inside here. And we're going to just wrap this all the way around until we fill it up. So I like to start right here on the inside connected to that yellow part. And so I'm just going to take my yarn and I want to keep these 2 pieces together. It's really important that they stay together. And I am just going to start wrapping my yarn. And I'm going to go all the way from one side to the next. And then notice I don't go over this part. I'm going to go backwards, going back towards that other side. I'm just going to wrap it as much as I can. Excuse the snoring dog. Oscar, are you having dreams? Okay, so this is starting to get really, really full. So I want to make sure that I have ended on this outer part. You don't want to end towards the yellow because what we're going to do is we're going to close this in. And you see that little space between that? We're going to take our yarn through that space and then begin wrapping along the other side. So I'm just continuing it on to this other side. Okay, now once we've filled that side, you're going to close it up. I'm just going to use my metal shears because the scissors that I brought, these guys are not the best for cutting yarn. But I found that my little metal shears work really well. But really the best thing to do for this would be some fabric scissors. So I'm just going to cut that off. And then you're going to see that there is a little notch. So see how that there's space there and there's space here? That is meant for your scissors to fit through. So you're just going to stick your little shears and just start cutting. And there's a groove that you follow along, which is really nice because then it keeps things nice and even. So you'll cut that side, and then you can actually follow straight through to the other side. Then just make sure that everything has been cut all the way through. Okay, so So now it's time to tie this off. So I'm gonna take the same color yarn that I was using before, and I'm just going to slide this through that little space, and I'm gonna tie a knot on one side, and I'm gonna pull real hard. Okay, then I'm gonna flip it and come back through the other way and tie a knot. And then on that same side, I'm gonna tie one more knot. And now my pom-pom is nice and secure. Now I'm going to take this and open this up. So I'm gonna open that up. So I've got one side open. And then I'm gonna open this side. And I'm going to pull this apart. Now, don't panic if you're like, wait, what's going on with these guys? That is totally fine. So I just like to shake this out. And then that's gonna show me where I've got some wonky little yarn. So now I'm actually gonna take these scissors and I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. So this is where you can just snip. Give your little pom-pom a haircut. All right, and there's my little pom-pom. So I want to have 6 of these pom-poms, and I've made 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the rest, because I wanna make sure that all my pom-poms are made before I start assembling my wreath. Okay, so I've got my pom-poms done. So I'm gonna set those to the side. And the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna take this gauze cloth. You can find this really just about anywhere, especially with Halloween coming up. They've got it. You can find it at Target or really just about anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to stretch this out, and I'm just going to take my wreath, and I just kind of want to see about how much it'll cover. All right. Gonna be perfect. So I'm gonna tie this onto one end of my wreath, like this, and then I'm going to just wrap it around my wreath. And that'll help if I just kind of keep it balled up. And I don't want it to be tight on here, so I kind of want to pull it. So as I wrap it, it's going to be wrapped and then loose, because I definitely do not want it. I want you to still be able to see kind of the gauzy texture. Now I am not hot gluing anything just yet, because if I hot glue this and then turns out that I've made it too loose and it doesn't fit all the way around wire, then I'll be in trouble. This way I can kind of place it and get an idea of how it's going to work before I start making anything permanent. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like. You see that? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part and I'm going to tie these 2 ends together. And then I'll take this up here and I'll tie a little knot, and this will be where I can hang it on my door. We need our ribbon. So this ribbon it's 25 feet and this is 2.5 inches wide. So if you're kind of wondering, and I love it because it kind of has a little Tim Burton kind of look to it, a little Nightmare Before Christmas kind of look. I'm gonna take this ribbon and I'm just gonna, this is right at the top, so that's where my knot is, And I'm just going to take this ribbon and I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm actually going to just put a little bit of hot glue just right here. And then just pinch this down. Just pinch these two sides together. And that's going to hold that in place. And this is going to end up being the front, where I'm working right now is the front. So I'm going to hold that together, and then I'm going to kind of squish that up, and I'm going to make a little loop, and then underneath I'm going to tack that one together as well. So see how it's going to start to kind of bunch up. Alright, so I'm just going to continue working my way around the wreath. So I've got these little bumps. Now, if you are one of those very precise people who will really stressed out if this isn't perfectly even, you may want to measure out your you may want to measure out your ribbon beforehand. You can measure it out. You can put a little mark where you should be attaching your hot glue. I'm not that concerned about it. What we're going to do next is we're going to get that spider garland. And we're actually going to cut the spiders off of the garland. So the way that this garland is, there's like a center wire. Move this to the side. There's like a center wire, but then there's little wires coming off of it that your spider's hanging off of. So I don't want this big wire, I just want the little wire. So I'm just going to snip all of these little spiders off. Now, if you are not a spider person, you can use any type of garland, and really, you know, this is great for any holiday. Just get, you know, a Thanksgiving style of ribbon and maybe some pumpkins or some turkey garland, or you could get some Christmas kind of ribbon or some Hanukkah ribbon or Kwanzaa or whatever it is that you want to celebrate and put on your door. Really, it works with anything. Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. The possibilities are endless. So this garland actually gave me a lot of big spiders. See, I don't need this. Oh man, I'm covered in glitter. Alright. We're going to move these now down here. And I'm going to take my wreath. And let's count. We count the spaces between my little bumps. So this is the top. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 little spaces. Let's see how many spiders I have. Okay, so that garland came with 19 spiders. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start with just wrapping 12 around the 12 little spaces that I have. Actually, I might use that to my advantage. I'm gonna have some hanging down. Some of them are gonna be crawling onto the ribbon. Some of them are gonna be caught up in the gauze. But you're just gonna take that little wire, wrap it around, and then twist it back around your spider. I really do love Halloween. Our neighborhood has a really great Halloween party every year. And I love it because it's just so much better than, you know, walking around the neighborhood, which I did that when I was little, and you know, that was really kind of the only option we had back then. But you know, back when I was growing up, churches didn't even acknowledge that there was a holiday happening at the end of October. Now I feel like all these churches do trunk or treats and harvest festivals and all types of things. But I love what my neighborhood does because it's a party and everyone decorates their cars, and we do trunk or treating in front of my neighbor's house. And I just like it because there's games and it's a big potluck and we all hang out. And then my kids love it because they get to hang out and with all the neighborhood kids. And I love it because the focus is not about just going around and getting a whole bunch of candy. It's like spending time with your neighbors and having fun. So we really enjoy it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, for the ones that I want to kind of stay on top, I'm just going to go and add just a touch of hot glue and just kind of tack these to the ribbon. That way they don't go anywhere. They stay right where I put them. I also love that when you're using hot glue guns around spiders, you get the little stringy pieces from the hot glue, just leave it. It looks like spider webs. Okay, so I've put my spiders around. I did 12 spiders to start with, and I still have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I still have 7 spiders left that I can kind of play around with once I get my pom-poms on, and then I can see if I want to add any more. But this is the top of my wreath, and then I've got the little spiders dispersed. So I made 6 pom-poms. You can obviously make more than 6 or less than 6 or no pom-poms at all if you just want to go with the black and white with spiders. Totally good. But I'm going to add my pom-poms, and I'm going to do 3 on each side, and I'm just going to kind of tie them kind of spread out around this. Just gives it a little pop of color. So this mesh you see on a lot of wreaths. Ooh, those spiders really like it. And it's great because it's got the wire in it, but you can kind of put it together and make it really thick. So I'm going to actually put this around the outer parts of my wreath and a little bit on the inside so that it'll be nice and fluffy. So, and all I'm going to do to attach this is I'm going to cut little bits of my wire and just kind of weave underneath my little loops of my black and white ribbon. This is my top spider because that's where I've kind of hidden that little loop to hook it onto my door, that nail. So, and I'm going to start here, right at the top. And I'm just going to weave my little wire through so that I make sure that it goes around my loop, and then I'll just twist it on the back. Alright, now I'm just going to kind of keep going around. So see how this sticks out? Bring it down a little bit. See how this kind of gets fluffy? So same, I'm just going to kind of push it together and then pinch it so it kind of puffs up a little bit. That way it's going to make this little dinky wreath thicker and prettier. What you doing, Jack?
I spiders. Spiders.
You see the spooky spiders?
Spiders.
Spooky spiders! Alright, so then now that looks much more substantial. So I'm going to keep adding this around my wreath. And I'll give you a close-up view of how I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm just gathering this up. I'm trying to make sure that they're about the same width. And I'm just going to gather that up. And I'm going to hide this metal underneath that little pom-pom. Just pinching it with my finger. And I am taking the little raw edges and kind of tucking them under a bit. And then I'm going to take my wire underneath my little pom-pom. And then twist. Cut any excess off and then just tuck that down. All done. So here's my not so spooky Halloween wreath with lots of spiders. I love these glitter spiders. They're so cute. One of my favorite things about Halloween is that you get to leave all the cobwebs around your door. You know, it's just like decorations. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope you will venture out and make your own wreath. If you do and you share it on social media, be sure to tag Good Golly Gal so I can see your creations. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.